another lesson. Welcome. Today's lesson is about circular motion. This is class by Raj, teaching for Physics Form 6, Semester 1. In this lesson class, the first learning outcome, we are going to look at the quantities that is involved in the circular motion. Like when we were looking at the linear motion, we know that there's a displacement, distance, speed, velocity, acceleration, time. We can describe linear motion by looking at all this quantity. But for circular motion, we can also describe its motion by few quantities, and some of it are angular displacement and angular velocity. Our learning outcome for the syllabus will be to express the angular displacement in radians, to define angular velocity and period, and derive and use the formula. I'm going to teach you all about circular motion. Now, before we understand about this motion, which is circular, we have to look at all those quantities that is involved in the circular motion. So here, I have a particle here. Okay, this is the center, which I'm going to label as O. Now, I have a particle here, which is A, at a point A, at time t is equals to 0. Okay. The particle is in a uniform circular motion if it moves. This particle is in uniform circular motion if it moves with a constant speed. So we say this particle is what? In a uniform circular motion. Okay, now uniform circular motion means the particle is performing a circular motion going around, okay, and come back, going around and come back with a constant speed. Okay, be careful of the word speed here. Okay, alright. Now, take note of that, okay? Now, what we can say is that if the particle is moving at a constant speed in a circle of radius r, so I'm going to just draw this as radius r, okay? Initially, when time t equals to 0, the particle is at point A. After a short time interval, okay, like say for example here, this is the radius r, the particle is at this point, which is point B, after a short time interval. That means t is equals to at time t. That means from here to here we have delta t. Okay, from here to here. Alright. Now, what we can say is that what are the quantities we can talk about is when the particle was at point A and then it went to point B, a circular motion to point B. So this angle, which is called as theta, okay. Now this angle, number 1, quantity, the first quantity, number 1, this theta is called as angular displacement. Is called as what? Is called as angular displacement. Okay, it's called as angular displacement, and this theta, the unit must be in radian. The unit is in what? In radian, or symbol is called rad, R-A-D. Now theta can also be in another unit, which is in ref, okay, which I'm going to talk about it later, not now. So the first quantity we can talk about is theta, which is the angular displacement. Okay, now the next quantity we can talk about is linear velocity. Okay, velocity, which this velocity is symbol is V, is actually a linear velocity. Okay, and is perpendicular to radius. What? Perpendicular to radius. Perpendicular to radius. So if I draw in this diagram, the linear velocity will be perpendicular to radius, means so it will be in this direction. Okay, now this direction. Okay, so this will be V, this will be theta. Okay, alright, so here the thing is, alright, the thing is, we know that the speed is constant. If the speed is constant means, that means the magnitude is, the magnitude of the speed, the magnitude of the velocity, I would say, magnitude of the velocity is constant, is same lah. Okay, but here it says there's a velocity which is linear velocity, is perpendicular to the radius. So if you see here, you realize that if the particle is at this point, then you have the velocity like this. If the particle is at this point, then you have the velocity like this. Okay, the linear velocity, this is a linear velocity. Okay, alright, now if the particle is at this point, then the linear velocity is like this. So it's always perpendicular to radius. Okay, this is the perpendicular to radius. Okay, and etc. and so on. So you realize that even though it's a velocity perpendicular to radius, you realize that if I give example, like here is 20 meter per second, here also 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 is 20 meter per second, and so on. Okay, now let me draw here. So, and so on. Okay, so it's 20 meter per second. So that means what? It's a constant speed, circular motion in a constant speed, because the magnitude is the same, the speed is the same. But what is different is the velocity. Why? Because velocity is a vector. Is a vector. So when velocity is a vector, it has magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction. So if you look at all this, the magnitude is the same, but the direction is different. This one is the side, this one is the side, this one is the side. So the direction is different. Okay, so that is why the thing is, here says constant speed and here it says velocity. So you have to take note that that is a very important concept which will teach us about acceleration. Okay, so but I'm just going to go for a little bit more for others first, then I'll come back to this concept. Alright, now the quantity number 3, the quantity number 3, okay, alright, is angular velocity, which is omega. Angular velocity. Angular velocity, okay, is not linear velocity. Yeah, linear velocity is linear. Angular velocity, we call it, we put it as a symbol, like it looks like a W, but it's not W. It's a symbol which is called as a omega. Okay, which I think everybody know is a omega. Okay, angular velocity is what? Is defined as the rate of change. Rate of change of angular displacement. Okay, rate of change of angular displacement. So rate of change of angular displacement means angular displacement is theta, so it will be omega is equals to d theta over dt. Okay, omega is equals to what? Omega is equals to d theta over dt. So the unit for omega will be, theta is in radian, t is second, so it will be radian per second. Okay, now omega got another 2 units. Okay, so I'm going to explain that. Alright, I'm going to explain that now. Alright, let's see here. Now theta, let's look at about theta. Theta is angular displacement. Okay, theta is what? Is angular displacement. Okay, correct. Now, when you were before, we know theta can also be spoken in degree. Correct or not? 180 degree, 360 degree. So, theta can be spoken in degree. Right? So, one complete oscillation. So, if it starts here, one complete oscillation means it will be 360 degree. Correct? So, if 360 degree means is equals to 2 pi radian. Okay, for one complete oscillation, 360 degree means is equals to 2 pi radian. Is also equals to 1 ref. Now, what is ref? Ref is called as what? Revolution. Okay, ref is called what? As what is revolution. Called as one revolution. Okay, so now that means theta in circular motion, we can explain it in either it is in 2 pi radian or in 1 ref. So since omega is angular velocity, omega is d theta over dt. So if if theta is in radian, so we can say the unit is radian per second, correct? But if theta is in ref, so omega can be 2 units, okay? It can be RPM and RPS. So this is called as R is called as revolution, which is ref, P is per, and M stands for minute. Okay, and this one also, R is ref, P is per, and S stands for second. Okay, alright, so omega can also be expressed in RPM and RPS. But when you solve question, omega has to, if it's RPM, you have to convert it to radian per second. Okay, like example I give you all. If it says omega is 20 RPM. Okay, if they say omega is what? Is 20 RPM. That means you cannot simply use this in any formula. You have to convert this to radian per second. So how you solve this? 20 ref. So ref is 1 ref is 2 pi radian. So you times with 2 pi. Okay, per. P stands for per minute. So 1 minute got how many seconds? 60 seconds. So you solve this. So it's 40 pi per 60 radian per second. Okay, so you will get your answer that 40 pi per 60. If you have like omega is 20 RPS, then 20 ref. So 1 ref is 2 pi radian. 1 ref is 2 pi radian. So you times with 2 pi per second is 1. So you get 40 pi. So you have to convert it to radian per second when you use the formula. Okay, unless if they want the answer in RPM or RPS. Okay, so that is about angular velocity. Okay, alright, so the next quantity, which is quantity number 4. Okay, the quantity number 4. Okay, before that, angular velocity is usually, it's, you see, if the object, this is the center, the object is moving like this, okay, the object is moving like this circular motion. Omega is angular velocity, means how fast the object is moving like that. Okay, how fast. Okay, but linear velocity, V is the linear velocity. Omega is how fast it's moving. Okay, so that is omega, angular velocity. Okay, so number. Okay, now next one is number 4. Number 4 is period. Symbol is capital T, period. Now what is period? Period is time taken. Time taken for one complete oscillation. Okay, time taken for one complete oscillation. So we have here, okay, we have here omega is equals to d theta over dt. Okay, d theta over dt. So period is time taken for one complete oscillation. So in this case, now it started with A. What is the time taken for one complete oscillation? That is called period. So here we have omega equals to d theta over dt. So angular for one complete oscillation will be 2 pi radian. So t is time, is period. So therefore we can say omega equals to 2 pi over t, or we can say t is equals to 2 pi over omega. Okay, alright, so t definitely is in second. Unit is second. Okay, so number 5 is called as frequency. Okay, frequency, which is small f. Alright, so what is frequency? Frequency is the number of oscillation in 1 second. Okay, number of oscillation in 1 second. Or if I don't want to say number of oscillation, you can also follow what the book says. Number of complete revolution made in 1 second. It's also still one oscillation. Okay, number of oscillation. Okay, so that means unit in frequency is hertz. Okay, so frequency is equals to 1 over t, and t is equals to 2 pi over omega. So f is equals to what? 1 over 2 pi over omega. So omega is equals to 2 pi f. Okay, so you get that. Alright, so that is about frequency. Okay, number 6. Okay, number 6. Alright, before we go to number 6, alright, now we go to number 6. Alright, so number 6 is we want to find a relationship of linear velocity with angular velocity and radius. So it's like this. Okay, now this thing here, okay, if the length of the arc AB from here to here, the length of this arc AB is delta S. Okay, then we know that delta S is equals to R delta theta, because S is changing, theta is changing, correct or not? R is constant. R is the same throughout the whole motion. So here we divide by delta t. We divide this by delta t. Okay, not R, yeah. So what do we get? Delta S over T is V. R delta theta over delta T is omega. Correct? So we get V equals to R omega. So we get this, all these important formulas. Alright, so let me take my highlight. Okay, so how many new formulas or new quantity have you studied in circular motion? You have studied the concept or the formula omega equals to d theta over dt. You have studied the formula t equals to 2 pi over omega. Omega equals to 2 pi f. V is equals to r omega. Okay, so we know this, and then after that what we understand here, there are few quantities we have to take in consideration. Like you see, like when you talk about linear motion, right class, we know in linear motion, okay, when we talk about linear motion, what we know? In linear motion, we got what? We got s, distance, displacement, and then we got v, speed, velocity, and then we got acceleration, and then we got time. Correct or not? So in circular motion, what do we talk about? We talk about the speed. We talk about the theta, the angular displacement. We talk about the v, which is the linear velocity. So in the diagram, the direction of v should be like that. We talk about omega, which is the angular velocity. Then we talk about the period, okay, and then we talk about the frequency, and there's also another one which will be in the next lesson. All right, so we talk about this. So these are all the quantities that are involved in the circular motion. After looking at some of the quantities, which is the angular displacement, angular velocity, linear velocity, and also the period and frequency. Now let's look on the acceleration. The acceleration in the circular motion is given a special name, which is called as a centripetal acceleration. That means the acceleration that is towards the center. It is a linear acceleration actually. The learning outcome from your syllabus for today's lesson is to explain that a uniform circular motion has an acceleration that is due to the change in the direction of the velocity, and to derive and use the formula for centripetal acceleration. Let's look on centripetal acceleration. Okay, now we have this object here which is at a particle which is at A. It was at position A at time t is equals to 0. Then after some time t, it is at position B. Okay, I'm going to draw here at time t equals to t. Okay, alright, and then it was like this. It was moving this. So we can draw a radius R. We can draw a radius R, and the angle is delta theta. Okay, angle is delta theta. So what else can we do is that we can draw a linear velocity. Okay, so if I draw the linear velocity in this direction, it will be something like this, which I'm going to call it as VA because it's tangent. Okay, so if I draw it like that, it will be something like this, which is VB. Okay, alright. So what we know about this is that we know the speed. The particle is experiencing a constant speed. It is moving with a constant speed in a circular motion. Even though it's moving in a constant speed class, okay, it's one direction, yeah? It's one direction. It's moving with a constant speed. But the velocity is not constant. Why the velocity is not constant? Because velocity has magnitude and direction. So the magnitude is the same. Okay, so magnitude is the same. That means the magnitude of VA is equals to the magnitude of VB is the same. But the direction is not same. Direction is what? Is changing. So due to the direction changing, the velocity is not constant. So we can say that the object will experience an acceleration. The object will what? Will experience an acceleration. This is a linear acceleration. It's a linear acceleration. Okay. And since it's a linear acceleration, it has a special name, which is called as centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration means what? Centri means to the center. To the center. That means this centripetal acceleration is acceleration where the direction of this acceleration is to the center. Okay, so let's look at this. Now we assume VA is equals to VB, so VA is equals to VB is equals to B. So let's draw this in this diagram here. So this is VA, this is VB, this is delta theta. So here also I will get delta theta. Okay, I will get here also delta theta. Okay, so that means this one is delta V. Okay, this one is what? Delta V, and this to this is delta S. Okay, alright. So when theta is small, that means the angular displacement is small. Okay, what happens? We have here two triangle. Okay, two triangle, which I'm going to take this one and draw two triangle. The first triangle is this. The next triangle is this. Okay, so when theta is small, okay, we can say that QR over PQ. The book says QR over PQ equals to AB over OA. Okay, so now why the book says like that? Because, okay, now let's see where is our Q according to the diagram here. So I'm going to call this as P. I'm going to call this as Q, and this one is R, and this one is O, this one is A, this is B. So it says that QR is equals to AB when theta is small. So QR is equals to AB. So who is QR? QR is delta V equals to AB. AB is delta S. PQ is VA, correct? And VA is equals to V. So I put V. So delta S, OA is R. So R. Okay? Alright? Now, why is it that here we are taking this triangle of delta S? Okay, when theta is small, the length of the arc AB is equals to the length of straight line AB. Okay, so that's why I put there AB is equals to delta S. Alright, so here we know delta S is equals to R delta theta. Correct? So I substitute inside here delta V over V equals to delta S is R delta theta over R. So I get delta V is equals to V times with delta theta. Okay, alright. So centripetal acceleration. Centripetal acceleration is a linear acceleration. So it goes back to the concept of centripetal acceleration is delta V over T by definition. Correct? It's linear. It's a linear acceleration. So delta V over delta T. What is delta V? Is V delta theta over delta T. So therefore centripetal acceleration is A. So A equals to V. This one is omega. So we get A equals to V omega. Okay, so we have a formula for centripetal acceleration. Now, if I substitute V equals to R omega, then I get A equals to R omega square. Another formula for centripetal acceleration. But if I substitute, okay, V equals to R omega, okay, omega is equals to V over R, then I get the formula as A equals to V square over R. So I can have three formulas for centripetal acceleration. 1, 2, 3.